As companies around the world increase spying on their employees, one lone Dutchman makes a stand and wins bigly. Will his legal victory against Big Brother also help you? And can it help you learn English in just 15 minutes? Find out right now on English News Worth Talking About. Hey, it's Dennis Wilborn, the former sailor turned entrepreneur and English coach. This is English News Worth Talking About on All About English. And if you are dying to know what it's all about, then you are in the right place. On this show, I break down some of the most popular news stories chosen by my clients to help you reach your English learning goals faster. Join me Monday through Friday for a fresh look at the news in English and why it's worth talking about. And be sure to stick around to the end of today's episode for a new expression to spice up your speech in our idiom of the day. And what is today? Today is November 2nd, 2022. That's November 2nd, 2022, indeed. And today I'm going to try to get back to basics. Okay, I got a little bit off and started wandering and making these long videos. Let's see if I can get it back to 15 minutes. So our article today is once again from ngu.com, a great place to find articles and other study materials for English learners. The best part is it's free to use, and so I do use it. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe and lightly depress the like button in order to entice more people to watch. And don't forget about the idiom of the day at the end of the show. Today, we're diving into the dystopian world of surveillance. I mean, employee monitoring. Let's see what that's all about. Okay. Today's article is oh, wow, look at that. A man fired for keeping his webcam off was awarded $73,000. $73,000. Wow. This was only from what, 4 or 5 days ago, October 27th. Now, as always, I'm going to jump right into the vocabulary. Today, fire, fire. No, I'm not talking about the noun fire. I'm talking about the verb fire. You might be familiar with that one. Donald Trump is famous for that one when he's back when he was a TV star called the on a show called The Apprentice. He would be on there. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. Which is arguably something he probably should have done more when he was president. But hey, who am I to say? Fire means to remove an employee from their job. Yeah, to remove them. Yeah, goodbye. You're fired. Uh, he was fired because he was late almost every day. Have you ever been fired from a job? Have you ever fired anyone? Yeah, there's two different things. If you've ever done either one, been fired or both, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear the story. I bet you it's good. Next one, remote. Adjective, remote, done or happening, etc., from a distance. Everybody knows this word these days because there are so many remote workers. But I'm sure probably before that, you learned remote control. Remote workers often find it difficult to set boundaries between their work and their personal lives. Yeah, we'll get more into that later on. So, remote. Next one, comfortable. Comfortable. This one's a hard one to, I shouldn't say it's hard. It's not hard to pronounce, but many people want to say comfortable, comfortable. But in American English anyway, we pronounce it comfortable, comfortable. Try it a few times. Roll it around in your mouth a few times. Comfortable, it's an adjective. It means free from worry or stress, etc., etc. I feel more comfortable working at home. I certainly do. That's why I do it. Next one up is monitor. Monitor. This is a verb, not the noun. Do not confuse that with the screen that you look at on your computer. That is a monitor. This is the verb to monitor, which means to watch and check someone or something for a period of time. If yeah, doctors, for example, doctors monitored the man's condition for 24 hours after the accident. You might also monitor uh, some activity. Maybe you need to monitor your children's. Wow, listen to me speak. You speak good English. Oonga boonga. Um, you may need to monitor your children from time to time. I know that I do quite often, actually. Next one up, privacy. Privacy. That is a noun. Privacy, the state of not being watched or listened to. We'll get into this one a little bit. Tech giants such as Google and Facebook could face tougher penalties under the new privacy law. Somehow I doubt that anytime soon, especially given the news that just broke earlier today or yesterday about um, from the, what was that from? Department of Homeland Security whistleblower or leaking that, yeah, the government of the US has been working with these companies to control free speech. So, yeah, I don't think anybody's making laws about privacy anytime soon, uh, unfortunately. Productive, doing a lot or achieving good results. Angela is one of our most productive staff members and is very easy to work with. Yes. Adjective, productive. Are you a productive person? Do you know anyone or does anyone who work for you? Would you call them also productive? It means they do a lot and they achieve good results. Productivity, good stuff. All right, let's get into this article. Man fired for keeping webcam off, awarded $73,000. We assume that's US dollars since he's not an American man. But so what I'm going to try to do, normally I don't read the whole article, but I'll read through and I'll interject my thoughts as we move along rather than having a long diatribe at the end. So, man fired for keeping webcam off at work. A remote worker who was fired for refusing to keep his camera off while refusing to keep his camera on while working has been awarded about $73,000 by a Dutch court. Dutch. Dutch, that means he comes from the Netherlands or Holland. The man, whose name was not made public, had been working for the US software company Chetu in the Netherlands since 2019. On August 23rd, 2022, while working remotely, he was told by his employer that he should keep his webcam on all day for online training. I don't know about you, but that seems a little bit much. Keeping your webcam on all day. I mean, I have mine on all day, but only when I'm in class or making these videos. Keeping it on all day so that your employee can watch you? Oh, what do you think? Let me know. The employee said he didn't feel comfortable being monitored on camera for 9 hours and refused to do so. He added that the company could already see all activities on his laptop and that he was also sharing his screen. So apparently, he was already familiar with the feeling of being monitored, and the camera was just a step too far. But Chitu said, Chitu, the company, said that having a camera on was no different from him being watched in an office, and the company fired him. Wow, having a camera on is no different from being watched in an office. I don't know. Do you work in an office where your boss is staring at you all day long? You directly? I mean, not that I think that there was a boss or a person going to be watching him for 9 straight hours. I mean, that would be a little bit counterproductive, don't you think? Watching someone, paying someone to watch somebody who you're also paying doesn't make much sense. But perhaps there was an AI involved. We don't know. Finding this unfair, the man took the company to court in the Netherlands. He told the court that he hadn't been given clear enough reasons for being fired and that asking him to keep his camera on for the whole workday was against his right to privacy. Well, that's an arguable legal standing. Perhaps things weren't clear, although the reason for being fired was pretty clear in the first paragraph. They fired him because he didn't turn his camera on. But Keeping it on for the whole workday was against his right to privacy. Do you have a right to privacy in your country? Hmm. I know, I mean, there's one that they talk about all the time, but I've never seen a written law that said you have a right to privacy. And the court agreed. Yes, of course they did, because this is a Netherlands court. T2 must now pay the man about $73,000. Hey, not a bad take home for one day, especially for losing your job. I'm really surprised at how fast that worked from August 23rd until October. That's a pretty fast legal system. While using a webcam to check on employees may not be very common, computer programs that monitor employee activity have become very popular, and they have. According to some surveys, as many as 60% of US companies with remote workers were using employee monitoring software. 60%. Now, I've seen some surveys that say the number is as high as 70. Let me pull that up. 75 to or 74 or 75%. That's a lot. So one survey says 60%. Another survey that I saw said 74 or 75%. And 81% of these companies found that their workers were more productive while being monitored. More productive while being monitored. I wonder how they're measuring their productivity. So in one survey, let me see if I can share this this screen with you. In one survey, they said that the employees were more productive. In another survey, they said that the employees were not as productive. This is a survey done by ExpressVPN. Of course, they are very concerned about people spying on people. ExpressVPN. This is not a plug for ExpressVPN. I like them, but they're not paying me to say this. I'm just reading their study. The key stats here. Here we go. Ethical questions. 83% of employers, let's reread that. 83% of employers think there are ethical concerns with employee monitoring. Yet, 78% use monitoring software. How does that factor? 78% use it, but 83% think it's unethical. Interesting. You answer that. So I was wrong about my original guess. It's 78%. Next, 1 in 3 employees don't believe their employers are actively monitoring their online activities, and 15% didn't even know that it was possible. Whoa! Are you aware that your employee may be monitoring you? Check it out. 1 in 3 didn't even know, or didn't know how much they can check. The majority, this is about employee mental state. Majority, 56% of employees feel stress and anxiety about their employer surveilling their communications. In fact, 41% constantly wonder if they are being watched, and 32% take fewer breaks because of it. Is that why they're more productive? I wonder. What do you think? Why don't you tell me about that? Privacy over pay. Nearly half, 48% of employees would be willing to reduce their pay if it meant not being subjected to surveillance. That is very telling. In fact, 1 in 4, 25% of people would take a 25% pay cut. Wow. Would you take a pay cut to make sure that your employer wasn't spying on you? Let me know in the comments. Finally, let's wrap this up. 41% of employees admit that their recorded work calls may have evidence that could get them fired. And 37% of employers say that they have used stored recordings to fire people. Oh my gosh. And employers, last one here, employers also use stored emails, calls, messages, or videos to inform their decisions on performance reviews. 73% said that. And to monitor the potential formation of workers' unions. 46%. They're using it to check to see if you are organizing a union. How about those crazy apples? That is wild. What are we talking about? What did we learn today? We learned what did we learn today? This is some crazy stuff. I don't know about you, but so what do we learn? A rise in surveillance by employers has led to a pushback by at least one man in the Netherlands, landing him $73,000 in the plus column. Good for him. I wonder if it will be enough to make more people do that. Number two, the steady rise of monitoring software with remote workers has raised questions about workers' rights and privacy around the world. Has it raised enough questions, though, is what I would like to know. And number three, look, despite ethical concerns of many people, including employers themselves, there doesn't seem or appear to be any moves at all to curb the use of these types of software. What do you think about that? But look, at the end of the day, this is a problem that is not going to fix itself. It's going to require that people remember two things. Number one, employment is an agreement between an employer and an employee to sell time for money. And two, employment is an agreement between an employer and an employee to buy time in exchange for money. Do you get what I'm going with? It's the same thing. If you want to change the way you work, you need to change the commodity that you are selling. If you can find a way to sell your productivity instead of selling your time, you may be able to get your privacy back and, more importantly, your freedom and self-respect. Those are my thoughts anyway, but what do you think? I'd love to hear what you have to say, so leave a comment down below. And please remember to have a civil discussion in the comments, because civil discourse is the only way to solve our problems. And if you enjoyed this video, let me know what you liked the best. And remember to smash the like button and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And we are moving on now to an old favorite, the idiom of the day. Today's idiom is the benefit of the doubt. It goes directly against Big Brother from last week. And what does it mean? It means to regard a person as innocent unless proven otherwise, or to choose to believe someone even if you are not sure that the person is saying something that's true. And also to believe something is good about someone while the chances of it being bad are equal in reality. So, for example, you might say, I'm not sure if he's telling the truth, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Or employers might say, or you might say, employers who monitor their employees could use a little lesson in giving people the benefit of the doubt. So it is unclear of where this phrase originated, but you can assume that it's related to the phrase reasonable doubt. Okay, that's a legal expression. Okay, we never find people innocent. We find people guilty, at least in the United States. People are never found innocent. They're assumed innocent until they can be proved otherwise. And as long as there is a reasonable doubt that a person did not commit a crime, then you have to assume that they are innocent. So that's why they get the benefit of the doubt. Now, it's reported to have been used in the Boston Massacre trials of 1770, but there's no written evidence of that. And currently, the most recent written expression of this phrase was recorded in the 1800s. Whew. All right. Now, thank you very much for giving me the benefit of the doubt as I opine about the news of the day. One thing you can never doubt is that my coffee is always running out. And you can help me with that by clicking on the link below or up above to help buy me a coffee. It helps me to keep going and shows me that you really support my work. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all of the time that we have for today. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. And thank you for joining me. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and don't forget your homework. Share this program with just one of your friends, and be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you stay up to date. If you want to join the conversation yourself in a one-on-one or group class, check out my page on Amazing Talker, and your news may end up here too. As always, remember, learning is meant to be an adventure. That's what life is all about.